guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is a young guy, I'm guessing he's probably in his mid-20s or something like that. And he's writing in about the age-old dilemma about his bro, his good friend, being completely pee-whipped and changed by the girl. Now let me make this clear, the friend allowed himself to get pee-whipped, but still, that's the situation. And he's been trying to help him out, but this guy's completely clueless, boneheaded, and this guy's beginning to change and impact their friendship. So he's writing in wanting to know what he should do about him. And again, I thought it'd be good one to go over here because I don't think there's a guy watching this that doesn't have a friend or male relative that might have done the same thing or is doing the same thing. Started changing once he met this girl, stopped hanging out with the bros, stopped pursuing his hobbies and interests, started to let her impact him. And also, it's not like the guy's happy. He probably complains about her a lot and things like that. And there's a point where you're at a crossroads to help the guy out or cut your ties because it's affecting your life. So I'm going to go over this and hopefully I can help this guy out. It says, "Hey SSM, I'm looking for some advice to try and help my friend. I give a little backstory to try and help make things more clear. About 2 years ago, I got into a relationship which made my friend want one as well. So he found a girl and jumped into a relationship with her after 1 month. Smack! 1 month. That's not a lot of time to vet the girl. And that tells the girl that he's really likes her, wants the relationship, and now she immediately has the power. A year or so went by and I got out of my relationship, but he stayed in his. Since I had more free time, he and I were hanging out more often, and his girlfriend began fighting with him to ruin our fun." Okay, so before you were in a relationship, so was he and her, but now that you're single, you want to hang out more, and she doesn't like that. She doesn't want to share her time with her guy. We decided to go camping, so we planned it out about 2 weeks in advance, and he told her. She was fine with that and didn't care. Doesn't make a difference if she's fine with that. He wants to go camping, he's going camping. Then the day came when we were to go, and she tried to stop him from going. While I was standing there, she was screaming at him and crying, telling him not to go. Yeah, she's a keeper. Right then and there, starting a bunch of drama. Nope. Goodbye. I told him to get in the truck and we left. Good. During our camping trip, we talked and he told me he hasn't really liked her for a few months now, and this would be the end of the relationship. He was tired of doing so. Okay. Tired of her drama. He made it clear. We all heard this part. He's sick and tired of her crap. He's not liking her very much anymore. Apparently, this wasn't the first time she had done something like this. It was just the first time that she had been so open about it. Now, a little context here. She lives 1 hour away and never drives herself to his house. She lives with her mom and dad, and every weekend he has to drive all the way down to her house and pick her up. Oh yeah, what a great situation. That sounds real mature. Why doesn't she get her fucking driver's license? Why doesn't she get a job if she can't afford a car so she can get a car and all that? Why is this guy totally pee-whipped? Going to pick her. He doesn't even like her that much. He's going to pick her up, bring her back to the house, all that. And she's fighting in drama. She's a loser. Now to continue with the story. The next day I took him home and he broke up with her. Oh, good. I said, good. At least you took her home, and he said no. So I asked if her parents could come and get her, and he said no. After a bit of asking, he told me he would sleep on the couch and take her home the next day, which is Sunday. He slept on his couch. Why didn't he just send her packing? I told him to make her sleep on the couch if she was staying, but I'd take her home. He didn't take her home. Instead, he decided to sleep on his bed with her the next day, and he still didn't take her home until 9 p.m. that night. In other words, she's been trying all her tactics to get him to change his mind. He then told me he broke up with her and wouldn't be getting back with her. He blocked her and everything, but he didn't block her phone number. Well, that's the number one thing you block. You block the phone numbers. He was trying to leave a door open, a door cracked in case she'd come back, that type of thing. This guy is full of shit. He is so pee-whipped by her. I told him to block her phone number because she'd be able to still get a hold of him and make him come back. He assured me that would not happen. Well, 1 week later, they were back together. I told him that she'd go back to manipulating and controlling him, and I let him know that he was a dumbass. Well, good for you. A good friend would be honest. How many of you guys have been in this situation? Right here, I'm sure a lot of you guys are shaking your head right now. You have that guy, a buddy of yours, girl's trouble. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to break up with her. Next thing you know, a week later, he's back with her, and it's even worse. I'm sure a lot of you guys have been there. I've been there. Now, I've never liked her. Yeah, I got that, dude. I'm not sure what it is. This made me not like her even more. Now, a month or two have gone by, and I told my dad that I thought my buddy was being a dumbass, and he agreed, but my mom overheard our conversation and started saying, just because you aren't in a relationship doesn't mean you can ruin his. This pissed me off because I had watched her disrespect, manipulate, and control my best friend for a while. I'd be like, Mom, I love you, but I'm having a private conversation with Dad here, okay? And just because I'm not in a relationship doesn't mean I'm trying to sabotage his. This woman is trouble. So I told my mom as much, and she responded with, oh, is that what you call it? I got pissed off and just walked away. Smart idea. We also live in a small town, so every time I go to the local store, the employees would also mention to me how they see my buddy and his girlfriend out and how he always looked like he was in a bad mood when she was around. I tried to help a bit more when I heard that, but he refused to accept the truth. That's how these guys are. You have to let them fail. That's the only way remember, this is why I'm so blunt and tough with guys in this channel. This is why I smack them, I would be doing it to their head. Because guys are so fucking stubborn and boneheaded. They do not want to accept reality, and they have to go through the suffering and the pain of being cheated on, broken up with, manipulated, humiliated, to see the reality that often the bros are trying to help them with. This story is just so common. Now on to the part that really made me want to write you. 2 weeks ago, me and two of my buddies were going to an event. We made it clear it was a boys' trip only, and he was not to bring her. Okay, you heard all that. Well, guess who shows up as we were leaving and decided to come with us? I didn't say anything because it was his car, and I couldn't take my own. He brings her. You made abundantly clear it's a guy's trip. She comes along anyway. This guy's so pee-whipped. He knew you'd be pissed. Look, guys, who is this guy showing is more important in this situation? The girl or the bro he's been friends with obviously for a long time? The girl. After the event, we were driving home and I was having a conversation with my buddy in the back seat. Let's just call him James to make it simple. I was telling James about what you teach in your videos and how he should try to get more experience with women so he doesn't get used and manipulated. Then my buddy from the front seat decided to interject himself in our conversation, saying, don't take his relationship advice. Every girlfriend he has cheated on him. His advice sucks ass, and all his advice only works if the guy's a bitch. That's what your so-called friend said about you, not to take your advice because you were cheated on? Newsflash, you can have there's a lot of guys out there that have their shit together, they're pretty sharp, and still were cheated on. That's how often it happens. This pissed me off, as well as James. James looked at me and said, that seems pretty hypocritical of him to say, considering he's pee-whipped. So me and James are trying to figure out how or if we can help him. We're at the point where we aren't going to be around him if she is going to be there. But we both care about him, so what can we do? I got more experience than both of them, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter to my friend because I've been cheated on. So what do we do, SSM? Thank you for your time. Well, bro, considering that this story is so common, I've been through this stuff and a lot of guys have been through this, I would say back away from him. That's what I think. Because the guy you became friends with, your relationship as friends has changed. He's no longer the same guy anymore. And on top of that, he's disrespecting you. Okay? You were having a private conversation. He jumps in, he's insulting you and insulting you for being cheated on and all that. And you've been trying to help him. And this is the same jackass you went camping with and said, oh, no, I'm breaking up with her the second we get back. And of course, he's with her a week later. Okay? You need to let him fail. End of story. And if that means him getting cheated on, his heart broken, his heart smashed into oblivion, whatever, then so be it. You've tried to help him. I'm sure you've made it more clear than you've stated in this story, how you've told him reality about her. I mean, she's a leech. She's trouble. And you said that people see him around town looking miserable, because he is miserable. But you know what? He has to go through that. And again, this is why I said so many guys are just so thick-headed. They don't want to hear reality. And they hate when and maybe on some level he knows the truth. Who knows? But you know what? Who cares? Because I don't want you to have this drama in your life. I'm trying to help you guys all have good, healthy, drama-free lives. And how are you going to have that with these jackasses bringing that turmoil into your life? He knew that outing you were going on was a guy's trip. He still brought her along anyway. What does that say about him? He's so fucking pee-whipped. And the problem is when you surround yourself with people that are bringing negativity in your life, it's going to affect you. We're the average of the 5 people we hang out with, whether we like it or not. So I'd say to him, I honestly would back away. and not reach out to him. And maybe sooner or later he will reach out to you. At that point then, you can decide how you put it. I mean, at the end of the day, do what you want to do. This is what I would do. I wouldn't say anything to him. Eventually he'd reach out, and then I would say, this was me. We've been friends for a while, and I've seen you change, and you disrespected me like that. That was the final straw. I wish you the best, bro, but I'm backing away. You've completely changed because of this woman. You're not who you are, who you were, who I know the real you is. For whatever it is, you're staying with her, even though you make it clear that obviously she drives you crazy, brings all this turmoil into your life. I don't need to have that in my life. Neither does James or any of the other brothers. So I wish you the best, and maybe down the road, when eventually she's going to break your heart, and she will, this is what I would say, cheats on you, whatever, or brings you down so low when you hit rock bottom, if you're actually sorry for the things you said and willing to actually listen, then maybe we'll talk, And it's not that I'm wishing bad things upon you, but they're already happening and they're going to get worse. And I don't need this shit in my life. You haven't been a good friend to me. I've been trying to help you. I've been a loyal friend, and you're not being a good friend to me, so I'm backing away. That's what I would do. And whether you decide to give him a chance down the road, because I promise you down the road, something will happen with him. He'll be reaching out to you. At that point, then you can decide. And if down the road that happens and he reaches out to you, I'd give him one chance. Okay, one chance only after that. That's it. Where you cheat on him or break his heart. Next thing you know, in 6 months or a year, he calls you up. You were right. I'm sorry. Da da da. And then, okay, you give him a chance. And then the next thing you know, 2 weeks later, he's back with her. Whoosh, forever. Done. You need that shit in your life. Because every so often, gentlemen, you have to cut people out of your life. It ain't pretty. It's not what you want to do. But it is what it is. You got to take care of you. Because otherwise, the old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. You try to help somebody out and be a good friend, and it only brings a bunch of bullshit in your life. That's what I think, dude. And that goes for all you other guys watching this right now that may find yourself in the same situation. Or you will find yourself in this situation down the road. Mark my words on that, especially as you become more knowledgeable and see reality for what it is. A lot of people don't like reality. They'll keep their head buried in the sand, or they'll fight off anybody that talks reality, which is why a lot of people hate my guts, because I talk reality here. But, so that's what I think. But ultimately, do what you want to do because it's your life. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let this guy know what you think. If you've been in a situation like this, let him know about it, your experience, how it worked out, with that guy. Did that guy learn by you trying to help him? Or did you have to cut the friend off? And what happened there? Comment away. I'll read these. He'll read these, and maybe we can help this dude out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.